Hey guys, I'm here from AT Sports. Today we'll just be doing a bit of a CA stock video of some stuff that we just got in maybe like a few weeks back, maybe a few weeks to a month. We just never got around to sort of just doing a bit of a stock review to it and letting you guys know what's available. So yeah, we'll just start with the 15,000 CA plus 15,000 players edition. Not sure if the grains are coming through because of the glare or not, but like, yeah, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pretty straight and even grains, no real blemishes or anything like that. Exactly what you'd expect from, like, this is probably one of CA's, one of their closer to their top end bats. I think the Morgs edition is their topmost bat, and then this one's pretty close up there as well. And in terms of specs, CA is usually pretty big. They got that sort of classic sort of middle profile, big edges, high spine. But on this one, it's not like sort of, I would say like on most CAs, you see the spine always going straight into the toe. This one sort of just rounds off almost into the end. Kind of just becomes like a bit of a duckbill at the end. And there is a bit of sort of concaving on there, maybe about 2 or 3 mils or something like that. But even then, like overall, the bat itself is very big. Like the edges and spine are pushing that sort of regulation. Now that you have with the new MCC, ICC rules. Yeah, so this one is £2.10 on the scales, £2 10 ounces. Most of they are around about the sort of medium weight. There's probably a few in the £2 8 ounce, so on the lighter end. But what we found in most of the CAs is that they're generally around about the medium sort of range in terms of weight. But yeah, let's move on to the ping. We'll start with the newer cricket ball. Because of that massive sort of profile, like you're obviously going to get a great response, which is what you're getting on this one as well. Yeah, let's check with the old one as well. Yeah, so nice. Just feels so good off the bat. I mean, yeah, it feels phenomenal off the bat as well, but at the same time, it is one of the top end bats, and so you would expect that as well when you're paying a bit of a higher price tag. So yeah, that's the 15,000 players. Let's move on to the plus 15,000. And yeah, a lot of grains on this one actually. This one is £2 8.5 ounces on the scale, so a bit on the lighter end. Let's just count up the grains. So, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then maybe a 10th one in there as well. And actually, let's just say 10 grains. And this is more of the traditional sort of CA profile that you see more often from CAs, where the spine goes right into the toe. I think you can sort of see that right at the end, that where it sort of just goes boop, and then that's the spine going into the toe. Yeah, specs wise, probably pretty close to in size as the plus 15,000 players. But I will say that this one is probably a bit fuller though as well, compared to the players one. Yeah, and it seems a bit thicker up here as well. Yeah, and around sort of medium-ish handle, probably medium thin. Yeah, but in terms of pickup, even with that sort of mid to mid-high profile, I feel like they don't pick up too much lighter than their weights. And that's probably got to do with the spines running right all the way into the toe. That's not to say they pick up bottom heavy or anything like that. They do pick up what the weight suggests, but not too much lighter than that. But yeah. Yeah, let's move on to the pink for this one as well. We'll start with the New York. Yeah, it's nice. So they must have their pressing sort of systems or whatever it is, or their method of pressing must be on point, because they are sort of renowned for good punching. Yeah, that's quite nice. For a large portion of that as well. Obviously, like down middle, you're not going to get much, and right on the edges as well. It's going to feel a bit off, but yeah, let's go for the old ball. Yeah, I think this one is probably just as good as the Players one, 15,000 Players edition. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. This one, £2, 9.4 ounces on this scale. Pretty straight, clean grains with probably a bit of a knot there and a little bit of a wobble there, but yeah, not going to do too much to affect the performance on it. Let's try and count them up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, so pretty grainy. Yeah, real grainy bat. And yeah, let's move on to the profile as well. This one's probably got a very thick toe compared to the previous 15,000. Yeah, it just seems a bit thicker overall. But it does have a bit more concaving compared to the last one. But yeah, it's probably to compromise for the thickness of edges. Yeah, the edges are thicker, but the spine is probably about the same height as the last one. Yeah, and so yeah, and on this one as well, the spine doesn't go all the way down to the toe. It's probably closer to the profile of the Players edition, where it sort of just goes very close there, and then it just sort of flattens out. It's almost like a duckbill profile, but probably not quite. Just sort of flattens out into the toe. Yeah, and then the handle on this one is again sort of like a medium round handle, and again the pickup. Yeah, again feels its weight. It feels like a 2, 9.5. Yep, and the this feels the best of the lot, I reckon. Oh yeah. Yeah, this feels probably the best of the lot, I reckon. It's often so far best of whatever's we've seen. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's yeah, the second one. And then we'll move on to the final sort of 15,000 that we've got available. We'll start off with the grains again. Very straight, very even, and on this one there's no sort of blemishes or anything like that. There's, yeah, a bit of heartwood on the right-hander's outside edge, but let's just count them up now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the 15,000 pluses seem to be the grainy ones. Yeah, so, and the profile on this one is the traditional sort of CA profile. The spine goes all the way into the toe. And again, edges are very thick on this one, probably not as thick as the other ones. Nice high spine, but on this one, probably so far, probably the most concaving on there, compared to all the ones we've seen so far, and that is a fair amount of concaving. So yeah, probably because this was maybe like a denser cleft or something, and they needed to keep the weight down, so that's the route that they went through. But yeah, And yeah, again, the same sort of medium to thin round handle on this one. And again, it picks up similar to what its weight is, which is £2, 9.8 ounces. Yeah, it picks up similar to its weight. So yeah, we'll move on to tapping it up. Start with new. Yeah, with the concaving though in this one, you can sort of tell, like on direct in the middle, like it rockets off, but as soon as it's sort of either side, you can feel a bit of vibration. Yeah, and it probably, yeah, like where the spine is at its highest is ping's probably as good as the others, but just either side, then it sort of tapers off a little bit. So yeah, move on to the old one. Yeah, so that's the plus 15,000. And then now we got the 12,000. We've just got the one of these. Yep. Let's take the grains. Pretty straight and even, very minimal sort of any sort of marks or blemishes. If you're being super harsh, then there's this very faint sort of specks or anything like that. But yeah, let's do the grain count. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? Yeah, I guess so, 10, yeah. Oh, actually, no, I'll count it again. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10. Yeah. Noticeably, on this one, it's actually quite a flat face. Compared to the others, the others sort of had a bit of a rounded face, but this one's actually quite flat. But yeah, again, with the CAs, it's probably the same sort of profile that you're used to seeing with the CAs, with the spine going right into the toe. I think in terms of thickness, probably pretty thick. Not the thickest of the lot, but still pretty thick. And then in terms of concaving, probably about 2 mil, I think. So yeah, there seems to be like a theme with the CAs that they generally do tend to have a little bit of concaving, like minimum 2 mil up to maybe whatever we saw on the one on the last 15,000. But yeah, again, the same medium to thin round handle. And the thing with the medium to thin round handle is you probably, if you got sort of normal, sort of medium to large hands, then you probably want to go with another grip. Just to sort of, it just feels that you would have a bit more control. Otherwise, if it's too thin, I personally tend to find that if it's too thin, then I don't feel like I have as much control of the bat. Especially if it hits off center, then it feels like it sort of turns in my hands. But there are people out there who prefer the thinner handles and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the great thing about cricket is it's a very individual sport and everyone's got their own sort of method to go about it. But yeah, anyways, we'll move on to tapping it up. Complaining, to be honest. Yeah, not bad. Move on to the old ball. Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, decent. That was the only 12,000 that we have available right now. Move on to the 10,000s now. This one's super light actually. Only £2, 6.6 ounces. So this would actually be great for maybe like a junior kid who's sort of graduating from a Harrow to a full-size bat. And then obviously being of younger sort of age, you're not going to be as strong. So it'd be a great sort of weight range for a kid like that, just to make their transition easier into the senior bats. But yeah, £2.6 on the scales, and then these grains are really, really straight, really even. Very equal distance, and there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grains, and then no marks or blemishes or knots or anything like that. Very straight, very clean. But yeah, again, same profile. Spine running into the toe, and up into the handle as well. There is a little bit of concaving on this one again as well. Yeah, probably about 3 mil concaving. Yeah, and again, yeah, not the thickest of a lot, but still quite thick, maybe around about the 39 millimeter mark, and then about the 64 millimeter spine height. And same again, medium to thin round handle. So if you got the bigger hands or medium-sized hands, and go with an extra grip. But yeah, in terms of pickup, yeah, yeah, like it probably picks up like a 2.7, I would reckon. 2.7, yeah, like the weight's 2.6.5, but I feel like it feels up a 2.7, I think. Yeah. Yeah, but still maybe picks up a bit heavier than its weight, but still quite light pickup. Yeah, on to the tapping it up. Oh yeah, that's good. And the old one. Yeah, that's pretty good. Very good. Oh, that's nice. Very good. Especially being sort of like that mid-range bat. That's great. Great stuff from CA. On to number 2. This one's £2, 9.5 on the scales, and then the grains again. Again, very straight, very even, minimal or no sort of blemishes or anything like that. Then we got one right on the edge, goes all the way up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 grains. Yeah, also another thing I should note on the CAs, they've all got this fully knocked sticker. I would say probably ignore that. These bats still need knocking in. They're not, I wouldn't even say they're probably not even half knocked. Probably they would need full knocking in. Yeah, yeah, and then this one, again, got that same CA profile with the spine into the toe. And then concaving on this one is actually quite minimal, maybe about 2 mil, 1 to 2 mil at max. But it's very thick throughout. Yeah, £2, 9.5 as well. And again, same again, medium to thin handle, and then the pickup as well picks up 2.9. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's round handle. But yeah, we'll move on to tapping it up. this is just as good as, this is one of the better ones actually, ping wise. Yeah, that's one of the better ones actually. One of the old ball. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. It's probably one of the better ones pinging wise throughout what we've done so far. And then the last 10,000 as well. Yeah. So again, we'll check the grains. Weight is £2, 8.1 ounces, which is again on the lighter ones. So we've got 2 lighter ones in the CA, 10,000 plus, or plus 10,000, and then 1 medium one. And then count the grains. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're very straight, very evenly distanced. No blemishes, no marks, no knots. And yeah, we'll move on to the shape. Same again, spine at the toe. Very minimal concaving on this one as well. Maybe about 2 mil, 1 mil, if that even. Yeah, then the same medium to thin sort of round handle. And yeah, this one picks up 2.8, same as its weight. Yep. We got the tapper. Yeah, this is pretty, in terms of ping, pretty close to the one I just did. So yeah, like one of the mid-range models, like, that's a great ping. Like it, yeah, no, it's, yeah. I feel the other one has probably a bigger sweet spot. This one maybe a little bit smaller, like that one probably went all the way up to the fully knocked sticker, and this one probably just below, in terms of like great ping. But yeah, even in that, so maybe about 1 inch down, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we'll move on to the old one. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, the ping's consistently good in the CAs, which is good to know. There's no sort of glaring sort of consistency issues or anything like that you have to worry about, especially being like an online shopper or as a retailer such as myself. That you know what you're getting is consistently good. It's just in terms of weight and stuff like that. That's the only thing you gotta sort of worry about. But yeah, onto the 8,000s. So we're going in sort of descending order of models. So we start with 15,000 players, and then we'll end up finishing with the 5,000. But yeah, move on to the grains. And £2, 9.8 on the scales. The grains are pretty even. Got maybe this sort of one sort of speck running down here. Purely cosmetic though. There's nothing that's gonna affect your performance or the performance of the bat. But yeah, let's count them up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, fairly straight. There's a bit of sort of waviness, but like very slightly, but overall pretty straight. And even as well. But then again, same CA profile with the spine into the toe. And then again on this one, the sort of minimal, sort of 1 to 2 mil of concaving. Like the concaving seems to be always there on the CAs. There seems to be sort of just a variation of, is it going to be 1 mil or is it going to be more than that. But yeah, I think on all the ones we've seen so far, in terms of concaving, only one sort of had like excessive concaving. The rest of them have had sort of about 2 mil to 1 mil concaving. But yeah. Yeah, so this one's again medium round handle, medium to thin round handle, and that picks up to £2.98 or £2. It doesn't feel 210. It doesn't feel 210. It feels maybe 2.9.5, 2.9. Yeah, that one's. And then again, if you chuck an extra rib on, it'll feel even lighter than that. But yeah. Anyways, move on to the ping. That feels really crisp, really nice. See, that one that just flew landed right on that sort of very minor sort of speck thing, and that one landed on there and just trampolined off. Under the old ball. Yeah, that's very good. Very good. I like it. Especially for now, we're sort of getting to the lower end ones as well. For what you're paying, that's very good. That's very good. So yeah, so anyone that's on sort of like a budget, then these sort of 10,000s onwards is probably a good sort of good thing to sort of keep in mind. But yeah, that was one of 2 8,000s. Move on to the last one, and this one's got really nice grains on it as well. 210 in weight. Really flat face on this one. There's sort of like a curve in the grains. There's no issue. It's just a cosmetic thing. But yeah, well, let's count. And there's probably like a little bit of a speck there. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 grains. Yeah, 10 grains, £2.10 in weight. Same CA profile. Spine's probably a bit higher on this one compared to the other one. And then again, sort of like 39 mil edge, 64 mil, probably roughly 64 mil spine height. And again, sort of about 2 mil concaving. Yeah, same medium to thin round handle. And this one, yeah, picks up. Feels like a 210, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, move on to the ping. Yeah, because it's 210, it pings great. Because there's obviously more weight behind the ball. So being 210, pings great. Onto the old. Yeah, this one's got awesome ping. Yeah. No, that's great. That's good. It's good ping on that one. And then yeah, onto the 5,000s as well. So the bottom end, the range that we have available currently. And this one's probably the heaviest CA we have. It's £2.11.3 ounces. There is a bit of marks on this one, maybe a bit of what do you call it, the specks there, a bit of watermark here. But yeah, let's count up the grains. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grains. That one, and again on this one, it's quite a flat face. Yeah, compared to the others. Then again, they've got that CA profile that goes right into the toe. This one goes pretty close into the toe, but it sort of rounds off there. It doesn't flatten out, it does round off there though. But yeah, this one is probably the least concaving, but you'd expect that being the 211 bat. In 211, I don't think there should be any concaving, and there's probably maybe half a mil or something like that on this one, if that. So yeah, fair enough. And 211, fair enough. There shouldn't be any. But yeah, like in terms of specs, not probably about 39 mil edge, and then 64 mil spine, or 63 mil spine, I think. So yeah, the spine's a little bit lower on this one compared to the others. But yeah, but with that no concaving, it's got a very wide sweet spot. And then again, medium to thin round handle. And this one actually, I think it picks up, not 211, but more like a 210 actually. It picks up the same as the other, the 210 pickup that I just did a little while ago. So yeah, it picks up lighter than its weight. This one does. But yeah, let's move on to the ping. I would expect this one to actually ping quite well, being 211 in weight. But yeah, let's see. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, definitely does. Onto the old. But yeah, 211 weight, picks up 210. Great ping on this one. So yeah, you're on a budget or you want a lower end bat, then yeah, take this one. And you're used to using big bats as well, or heavy bats, I should say. And then we got the second of the lot, the 5000s. This one's 210.2 now in weight. And then we got this sort of like waviness or watermark over here. No knots or anything like that, no specks, but yeah, this is that sort of wavy sort of watermark here. And then yeah, we'll count up the grains. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we've got a 7th one in there as well. Yeah, so 7 grains, £2.10 ounces on weight, and then the typical CA profile going into the toe, and then probably about 1 mil, 1.5 mil of concaving, and then on this one it's more of a medium handle actually. Yeah, it's a bit thicker than the other ones, medium handle, and that does help with the pickup on this actually. Yeah, it's more like a 2.9.5 pickup. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, move on to the ping. Yep. Yeah, that's great ping. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite nice. Yeah. Probably as good as the 211 one, I think. Yeah, as good, if not better, I think. But I can see quite a few seam marks, so it's probably a bit softer compared to the other one. So it needs a bit of knocking in this one, I think. Onto the old one. Yeah. just as good as this Took 11, this one, in terms of ping. And then we'll move on to the last CA now. On the other end of the spectrum, it's only 2.7 in weight. And then we've got a bit of sort of colouring and stuff on this willow. Yeah, we'll try and count up the grains. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 grains. Yeah, just a bit of colouring though, but no sort of no specks or heavy knotting or anything like that. So yeah, being the bottom of the range, that's pretty decent willow, pretty decent. Yeah, again, same sort of typical CA profile, spine into the toe. Minimal concaving on this one, again 1.5 probably mil concaving, 2.7 weight, medium round handle, medium to thin, and that picks up like a 2.7 as well, same as what the weight is. Yeah, and then we'll move on to the ping as well. Got the new one. Yeah, so probably ping's not as good as the two we just before, but for 2.7, it's still pretty good. Yeah, it's not that far behind compared to the other two 5,000s. So yeah, for about that 2.7, so it's about 3 to 4 ounces lighter than the other ones, and its ping just has almost as good. I'll take that. Now into the old ball. Yeah, pretty close to the others, to the other 5,000s. So yeah, that was the stock sort of review of what the CAs that we have at the moment. So yeah, like we've got these available, and I think we've got maybe some MRF stuff, SG stuff, CAT stuff coming in pretty soon, and then a few more other brands, stuff like that coming in pretty soon. And so yeah, we're trying to do a bit more of these videos a bit more regularly, just to sort of give you guys a bit more information, more informed decisions before you guys purchase. So yeah, if you guys like it, then let us know. If you guys want us to do anything different, let us know as well. We're always happy to sort of get in some feedback and try and improve on things. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully